Okay, I made some modifications to this GoPro case, and maybe I will not get any wind noise. Seems odd. The case was covering one of two microphone holes in the camera and provided no protection. So okay, let's just get all over here. Okay. Let the boat come forward. The weight of the chain tries to lay down on the ground and it pulls the boat forward. Right now the boat is moving forward, so I'm able to keep pulling the chain up. When there's a lot of wind, I have to motor forward, which becomes interesting when you're by yourself. Okay, right now, the anchor, okay. Took a little while to get the anchor stuck out of the ground. Last time I had to motor forward to break it free. And it's gonna be really dirty, so I'm gonna drag it in the water just to clean it off a little bit. Anchor's still in the water, but the boat is freely moving. And there's very little wind, so that means we're not moving that much. I should turn on my instruments autopilot, so now I can familiar sound, turn on GPS, so I have two ways of knowing how fast I'm going. And goodbye Newport, at least for a little while. Let's see. Rudder's in the middle position. I don't want to go too fast, or else the anchor chain will rub against the hull. As I get closer to the ocean, I'm starting to get some swell, which means we go up and down. So we got about 8 knots of wind. And we're motoring, and soon, in an hour or so, the current will start moving in our direction, which will help us a little bit. So we're out here, and you can see the land. We're a few miles offshore. I don't know, maybe 5 miles. Didn't count. And there's a gentle swell. Both sails up. We are about to enter the Cape Cod Canal. Looks like this catamaran wants to overtake me. Well, it's fine with me. That's the boat that was in Newport. He actually went somewhere. I'm surprised. We are in the Cape Cod Canal. There's a good current here. I'm getting almost 2 knots just from being in here. I think it's gonna carry me for another hour. You can see my speed there. It's bumping 8, and my GPS is saying a solid 8, and my wind is down even though my main sail is open. I'm getting over 3. I'm getting 3 to 4 knots here in this canal. This is a railway bridge that's normally in the open position, except for when a train comes. Something big. You could just tell that the boat turned to the left quite a bit, and the autopilot brought it back to the right. Those were just the currents inside this canal that did that. People out enjoying a bike ride by the canal. I want to say river, but that's what it really feels like. A big river. Sailed back out while I was still back in the canal where there wasn't much wind, and I'm hoping I get some good steady wind here as I exit. Boy, the fog was really heavy, and now it's lifted a little bit. I feel like I'm in the twilight zone. And earlier, almost with some vertigo. I imagine what it's like to be flying a plane and then all of a sudden get in a cloud, and you don't know what is up or down or left or right. They don't allow people to fly in clouds unless they're instrument rated, because they always crash because you can't trust your senses. Okay, it's Thursday morning, around 10 or 11. And the winds are light, about 11 knots. I'm doing about 5. Rained a little last night. I've also had periods of very little wind, and I've motored. And it was probably about 1:30 in the morning. I must have dozed off, because all of a sudden voice over the VHF radio woke me up. And it was a captain, and I didn't hear the beginning of it because I wasn't awake. And he was reading off GPS coordinate numbers and asking if there was a boat in the area in that position. So I came and looked at my GPS, and I saw that one of the numbers was me. And I could also see on my radar that he and I were the only boats in the area. So I got on the radio and I told him that I think that I was the boat he was referring to. And he said that he was crossing my path, but he was slowing down and letting me cross, and then he'd resume his trip. I think he was headed to Portland, Maine by his direction, and I'm heading farther east. So I'm going northeast, northeast. And so I could see on the radar that he passed, and I called him back and I asked him what size boat he was, and he says, "Oh, I'm a 200-foot steel, and name was Endeavor," and I couldn't really see him. I could see his lights vaguely because it was kind of foggy. It wasn't a dense fog, but I could just barely see the glow of his lights. That is the sound of motoring. I've had little wind today. There's been a couple small sections of maybe an hour where I could shut the motor off because there was wind to keep me over for almost 5 knots, and then it was gone. I'm doing 1500 RPM. So this is like super econo mode. I used to do about 1,800, whereas a lot of people would do 22 to 2,600. But they've shown that for a little increase in the speed, you gobble up a lot of gas. So I just want to move, but I don't want to use much fuel. I thought I was done shooting lobster pot buoys, but it's kind of crazy thick with them now. They're everywhere. And I can't even get away from the wheel to go get some breakfast because I'm having to dodge these buoys. They're everywhere. And just when I think I can get below and get some breakfast, more buoys. And then I almost run into them like these. And just when you thought you were at a pretty good saturation, it gets even worse. I couldn't even pick up the camera because I'm just having to dodge these things left and right. Look at that. Right in the channel. That looks like it'd be a nice place to live. Not quite sure how bad the winters would be. So I'm in Blue Hill, Maine. The tide here is between 11 and 10 feet, which is tremendous. So it's not easy to get off the boat, depending on the tide. There's a town dock here, and it's only accessible about 4 hours a day. And then there's mud flats, and you can't get to it. So I'm going for it. It's right over there. And normally there's all kinds of mud and hills exposed. You can just see the tops of the hills right now. So let's go.
Nope, you're way over on this side.
Yeah, we're off the fender. Yeah, hold on. Back it up. Okay. A little tight. A little tight.
There it is. There it is.
Okay.
Is that right?
It's tight on this side, Chief. 5.
All right.
So here's a nice little town park, and it's right on the water. But in about 5 hours, this will all be mud right out to those land outcroppings, and then it'll be water. It'll be water. So yeah, 10 to 11 foot tide change here. I am way out there.